So we have with us today Dr. Vili Doctor. Yes, Doctor is her last name too. She's here from India to share with us the technology of stress management. Vili Doctor is a psychologist, an educationist, a therapist, and a master of meditation techniques. In fact, her PhD work was in the field of psychobiological changes that take place through meditation. She conducts stress management workshops all over the world at places like Nokia in Dubai, the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in India, and the University of Connecticut. In 2002, she established a non-profit organization called the Light of Life Trust to help underprivileged children, destitute women, and senior citizens. Today, through her efforts, the trust supports over 1,000 children. There is more information about Ms. Doctor and the Light of Life Trust at the back of the room, so on your way out, please do help yourself to the flyers. And for the folks on VC, if you want to contact me, I can pass on that information to you. There's also a sign-up sheet, which we will pass around, and if you would like updates or information on upcoming workshops, please do go ahead and sign up on those. Vili Doctor also has the special gift of being a medical intuitive, counseling people globally to move towards health and self-healing. Perhaps what describes her best is she's a gentle lady with great compassion, love, humility, and patience. Vili Doctor is a lady of great spirituality with an in-depth knowledge of the human soul. I'd like to welcome Ms. Vili Doctor.
Let me welcome all of you, yes. It's wonderful to be with you all this afternoon, and I would like to really welcome you to participate, interact, and to ask questions, and absolutely benefit from this session. So first of all, I'd like to bow to each and every one of you, and my gratitude to all of you for being here, for creating your time and space in your busy schedules to be around to Google search on stress management and be here. To look at stress management is to look at life first. We are all actually in the process of realizing that very frequently our lives go through a kind of oscillation which we are not able to manage. It becomes sometimes so inundated with pressures and stresses that we feel that I wish I had a technique, I wish I had a quick fix on it so that I could really manage things better, more effectively. Now there is actually a technology that is available, and I say it is a technology because it can be used as a very simple tool for enhancing your nervous energy and make that therefore effective so that it could be used optimally to realize your complete potential. Now, if we had to view ourselves as human beings, we have a mind, a body, and a soul, which is the normal perception and paradigm within which stress management takes you through. But I'm trying to ask you today to shift this paradigm for a while and to really look at ourselves in terms of energy systems. That we are energy bodies and that within us is located a powerful energy system which lies in a dormant state and needs to be awakened. And this is the paradigm that I want you to really look at today. And within this framework, we develop a technology which scientifically helps you to make this breakthrough in your levels of stress management. So let's look at it and try and understand where we're coming from and what we can really do to apply this technology to ourselves. So the first part of it, I will just take you through the basics of our nervous system, which has this inbuilt understanding. And then we will actually do the process, which is the technique which you can use anytime, any place, anywhere to truly empower yourself and to let go the feeling of stress. And don't think I need to really go through what is stress and the reactions to stress, because I think we're all too familiar with those. Aren't we? Yes. We all feel it. We all experience it all the time in our nervous system. We feel it in our bodies. We feel it in our emotional system, and we react to it. Just that stress levels differ and our reactions to stress differ. So right at the very first stage, when we are stressed, there is like an alarm that buzzes for you, and you realize that, hey, I need to do something about it. I am undergoing some strong pressures. So that's the first stage of encountering stress, the alarm. And I'm sure a number of people have either moved through that stage and advanced or are still at that level. Then comes the point where we start resisting stress. And there is the stage of resistance, where we go on, procrastinating, trying to manage. We get a few symptoms because some of our organ systems have already collapsed from time to time. A tension headache, a hypertension, high blood pressure. Sometimes your stomach gives way to ulcers and respiratory tract problems. All those psychosomatic problems creep up at this stage. So that's the stage of resistance. And finally comes the stage of breakdown. There's a breakdown, there is a collapse, because the stress levels are at this point totally unmanageable. And as a result of that, you encounter chronic problems in your biosystems. Your energy is, of course, weakened. There is a chronic problem, any psychosomatic problem, even a cardiac problem, a respiratory problem, a problem related to sometimes brain damage, and so on. So there are reactions to stress which move in these three stages, and psychosomatic problems which crop up alongside. Now let us look at the paradigm which I was putting forth before you to encounter these stages of stress. And in fact, no matter at what point you are in the movement towards handling stress, you can use this technique very effectively, because I've found that this technique works for very severe stress levels as well. And patients who've had chronic problems like cancer, cardiac blocks, diabetes, all these problems have healed, because this is a process of self-healing as well. So, to really look at the technique, first we need to look at our subtle nervous system and how it works for us to really become an energy system. Can we look at the diagram? Yeah. Yes. Our subtle system, which is the system which brings about the energy ascent for you, which raises your energy levels, is composed of 3 channels: the left sympathetic, the right sympathetic, and the central channel. So energy flows along these 3 channels. It is your nervous energy, the neural impulses that we're talking about. So that is one component of the system. The second component is a primordial energy which is located at the base of the spine, and which in the classical terminology, you might have heard this term, is called Kundalini, or the primordial energy. Now this energy, which is placed in the inverted triangular shaped bone, which is your sacrum bone at the base of the spine. Okay? Now this is your powerhouse of energy. And this energy actually is in a coiled format, and a 3.5 coiled shape format. It's almost like an extension plug. You've seen the extension plug, how you pull it out and the energy flows, and then you have to connect it to the mains, and the energy circuit is then complete. So it works out that this energy in normal human beings, as I said, is in a dormant state, is in a sleeping state, and this energy then gets to slowly move up along the spinal column, and it passes through the third element of the subtle nervous system, which are the 7 important nerve centers. These 7 nerve centers are called, in the classical terminology again, chakras. Chakras because the energy moves in a circular pattern around those regions. So these are the 7 important junctions. One's located in the perineum region, right at the base of the spine, near the rectum. That's your chakra number 1. The second nerve center is located slightly below the navel point, about 2.5 inches below the navel point. The third one is directly in front of the navel point. The fourth one is the center heart over here in the chest region. And the fifth one, which is connected with your communication, is in the throat region, the forehead region, the sixth one, and the seventh one is on top of the head in the bone, which is your soft bone called the fontanel bone region. Okay? You need not remember everything except that these 7 important nerve centers are critical in conducting energy. And the energy from the base of the spine, that is from the sacrum bone, where it is positioned and located, slowly starts rising. It starts rising when systematically all the blocks that are there at the nerve centers open up. Now, what happens is, in the process of life, there is a lot of I call it garbage, which we collect, a lot of negative vibrations which we collect. And because of that, with the tensions and anxieties, the nerve centers begin to close down. And as they close down, the nerve centers begin to conduct less and less energy. So we need to really open up these nerve centers. And the process of really opening up these nerve centers makes the energy then slowly rise, go along the spinal column, the spinal cord, and then come up to the top of the head over here in this soft bone region. And when the energy really comes up at this point, it's interesting to know that actually in our skull, there is a very tiny opening. And it is through this opening that the energy begins to flow out. And when your individual energy begins to flow out in this manner, it connects with the universal energy all around us. And it is with this connection which takes place that you become a complete circuit. And so the universal energy gets connected to you, and everything then in the cosmic energy system starts flowing through you, and you experience that oneness, that peace, and that integration which is for a long time missing. And truly, stress is encountered when you as an individual system get disconnected from this universal energy. And once that connection is regenerated and attained through the process which we're going to do today, it transforms you completely, because this energy, the universal energy, it nourishes you, it nurtures you, empowers you, and it creates for you a process of realization of all the potentialities which you're born with. So the gifts that you have, the creativity, the problem-solving skills, the ability to communicate with people, share your knowledge, the ability to also be able to create new shifts and paradigms in the world. All these things happen once your potentialities begin to blossom. And of course, along with it, your psychosomatic problems, which are related to different organ systems in your body, all those also clear out. So it is a process that makes you attain health, makes you shift from the stress that you're encountering in life. It empowers you with a kind of mind space and brain space and neural space which is totally healthy. And therefore, it leaves you free to really be productive and function optimally in one's lives. And to experience, therefore, what is normally the state that one enjoys as a human being, which is love for everybody, peace, joy, laughter, and being spontaneous in life. See, we lose these things as we become more and more intellectual or isolated in our work spheres. And those qualities of life actually really lead us to our happiness, to a state of well-being. And to recreate that each day for ourselves is through meditation. Now I come to the understanding of what is meditation. See, when very frequently we say, oh, please don't disturb me, I'm meditating. And that we say because we are thinking very deeply about something. But thinking deeply about something is not meditation. That is truly the cognitive process, the thinking process. Again, sometimes we say, oh, please don't disturb me, I'm meditating, which means you're focusing all your attention on to one single stimulus. So you may be working very hard and you focused all your energies on that problem and you say, I'm meditating. But let me tell you that that is also not meditation. So then what is meditation? What happens is when this energy, the primordial energy, the Kundalini as I called it, starts rising, and when it crosses the sixth nerve center, the sixth nerve center, which you can see in your handout, which is located in the forehead region, it is at this point that your thoughts begin to dissolve. Thoughts begin to clear out completely. And your consciousness reaches a state of zero thoughts, where there are no thoughts at all. And when there are no thoughts, you know that there is complete inner peace at that point of time. And so, as I said, from this empty space, that is the state of pure consciousness and pure attention, and that is the state of meditation. Like so. Where there are no thoughts at all. And that state truly is empowering and wonderful because that state creates a connection of the energy, the universal energy then, and allows that energy to work out everything for you. Whether it is health, whether it is problem solving, whether it is your ability to have very fulfilling relationships with people, or also your ability to enjoy life itself. Be productive. So this is actually the process that we're going to master today. The process is simple. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to do the process and master it. So that actually is a state of meditation. Now suppose I tell you that, or you tell yourself, I'm not going to think at all. I'm not going to have any thoughts. Is that possible at all? No. What will happen immediately? The moment you tell yourself, I'm not going to have any thoughts, more and more thoughts will start coming to you. And so you cannot control thoughts is the realization. It is only spontaneously when this energy is awakened, and that this energy then moves along the spinal column to create that connection. And you are in this complete circuit that the thoughts will leave you. And once the thoughts leave you, all the tension leaves you, all the stresses leave you, and it gives the nervous system the time to recover, to regenerate, and to then really become effective. So that's the way meditation works in our energy systems. That's the basic that I would like to leave you with. It's very basic since we have just about an hour today to realize this technique. If you have any questions later on about this, you could come and ask me or email or whatever, okay? And we can interact and begin to know this in greater depth. So now, from the principles, let's move to the technique and see how we can actualize this in our life, all right? Are you understanding me? Am I clear? Yes? Okay, all right. Is this something that you would like to do? I'm sure because you're here, you would. Okay, so let's begin then with the process itself and master it. It needs repeated, of course, practice daily to master it, but I've made it very complete for you so that you could practice it daily and progress systematically. Now, what we really need to do is, if you're sitting on the chair, the first thing we need to do to earth ourselves is to remove our slippers or shoes or socks or whatever we're wearing in our feet. All right. The second thing is, if you could please have your cell phones off so that we don't get disturbed or you don't disturb others. Thank you. All right. So the first variable is that your spine should be straight, it should be erect. Your feet, both your feet should be flat. On Mother Earth or ground level. Next, your palms are like the conductors and receptors of energy. So your palms to be opened and faced upwards, and they could remain open like this in your lap. Yes. Try and keep your spine straight, all right? And your head in a position where you do not feel its weight. So if you're moving it, you will feel that at a point you feel your head weight disappears. All right. So these are the three variables. If there's anything, of course, that's tight or constricting, just release it, you know. If there's a tie or a belt that's very, very restricting, please just open it up. And as we do the process, but before we begin with the process, we need to understand that we will be mastering first the positions of these 7 nerve centers, okay? So we will be working first on the left channel. So our left channel, which is the left palm, will be open and faced upwards like this, whereas the right palm will be actually be placed along the point where your chakra is or where your nerve junction, nerve center is, all right? So the first position is this in the pelvic region on the left side. Place your right palm almost at the hip joint. Okay? And it is this part of your palm, because that is the corresponding 7th nerve center, has to be touching it. Got it? Okay. Jaya and Shiraz are looking around to check if everyone's doing it correctly. So if you have a problem, just ask. Second position of the second nerve center, the chakra, is directly below the rib cage in the stomach region on the left side. Yes. And you place your palm there. That's perfect. Good. Moving upwards, you then go to the heart chakra, slightly lower, directly in front of your, yes, big pump there. Okay. Wonderful. Slowly you move then to the chakra which is located in the throat region. But the way you do it is you take your palm and between the left shoulder and the neck region, you turn your head slightly to the right, holding the nape of the neck. You know the bone that is protruding, the nape of the neck, and turning your head slightly to the right side. Yes. Just turn your head slightly to the right. Perfect. Yes. That is the position of your center of communications. Then you move to the next, that is the 6th point, which is in the forehead region. At all points, keep the left palm open and drawing energy. Yes, you then move to the forehead region and looking downwards slightly, you cup your palms so that on the left side, you're holding the left side of your forehead with your fingers, and the back of the palm is holding the right side of your forehead. Good. That's the position of the 6th nerve center. And finally, you go up to the 7th point. Try and locate that soft bone, but in most of us, it is hardened because of two forces which compel us in life. That's our ego and our superego, which reside right there. Okay, so you again need to look downward slightly, and while we're really working on this nerve center, we will be rotating the energy at this point in a clockwise direction from left to right. Okay? And pressuring a little so that that little tiny opening which has been blocked at the center of the skull opens up to allow the energy to move out. Yes. Got it? So 7 times in a clockwise direction, you will be rotating the palm on top of the head as we are doing the process. Okay? Great. It's slightly in front, yeah. Yes. Slightly, yes. Yeah. Okay. Have we got the positions? Can we quickly recap and review them so that because our eyes will be closed when we're doing the actual process. So when we're doing the process, there will be a few affirmations which you will be subvocally saying. And each nerve center has, as you know, different number of nerve endings. So you will be repeating those affirmations, the number of times to open up each of those nerve endings. Is that clear? All right. If you have a question at this point, do ask. Yes?
When you say clockwise, you mean viewed from above or from below the hand? I couldn't figure that out.
Yes. If you have to place the clock this way on top of your head, this would be the direction from left to right. Yeah. Okay?
Is the clock facing upwards?
Yes.
Okay.
The energy is rotating this way, okay? Out there. If the energy rotates in the opposite direction, it creates a lot of negative events to happen. Therefore, the position is important. And there's this whole thing about a lot of research done on that, which you can Google and find out about. Okay? All right. So let's begin now. Are we ready? You can stretch out a bit. If you're feeling sleepy, you can just stretch out, stretch your spine. Maybe move your shoulders a little because I know you've been working all day. Neck positions to release the tension physically while we do this process, yes. Sometimes I do a body scan and we go through all the muscles in the body and relax them before we do this. But since we have just an hour, I don't think we can manage all that. So we'll just let go all the tensions in the body. But they'll clear up automatically once you reach the level of the 7th nerve center. So don't worry too much about it. Okay. Now, those who are wearing specs, all right, if you could put them aside because we don't need them, your eyes will be closed. All right. So you can adjust yourself to see that your spine is aligned and vertical. Your palms are open. As I said, they're the receptors and transmitters of energy, and they give you all the information on your nervous system. So, to be open and placed upwards. Your head in a position, that's the third variable you need to check. Head in a position where you do not feel its weight. And now, gently close your eyes. Please don't try to open your eyes. This is a journey that is inwards. You're looking at your own nervous system. You don't have to worry about others, therefore. Just focus with it. Let us begin. First, just take your right palm, place it in the pelvic region on the left side. And over here, to open up this nerve center, you have to address this to Mother Kundalini. And you can just say, Mother, please give me the light of pure knowledge. And you repeat it 6 times subvocally to open up the 6 nerve endings of this nerve junction. Once you finish, just move up to the next nerve center below the rib cage in the stomach region on the left side. Pressure it slightly. And now over here again, the affirmation is Mother Kundalini or Mother, I am my own master. With the light of the pure knowledge, you become your own master, your own guru. So, 10 times you repeat, Mother, I am my own master. Again, let's take our right palm to the chest region in front of the heart chakra. Place your right palm on the left side. Hear the affirmation which you repeat 12 times to open up all the nerve endings. And you say, Mother or Mother Kundalini, I am my own spirit. Or I am my own true self, whatever you choose to say. Begin. Mother, I am my own spirit. And having completed that, very peacefully take your right palm between the left shoulder and the neck in that region from the front and place it so that your fingers are pressuring the nape of your neck and tilting your head slightly to the right. Over here, you use the affirmation, Mother, I am not guilty, and release all the things that you made yourself wrong about. let go that past. You repeat it 16 times because this is a complex nerve center. Just say, Mother, I am not guilty. 16 times. Begin. All right. Now take your right palm, place it along the forehead region, cupping your palm slightly, holding the forehead on either side and looking downwards. At this juncture, you say, Mother, I forgive everyone. And you need to let go and forgive each and everyone from your heart. And so you repeat this till you really let go. I know it's the most difficult nerve center to cross and open up. It's difficult to let go and forgive someone. But let's do it. Try not to think of specific individuals, just in general, let go and forgive everyone. Just say, Mother, I forgive everyone. Once you've done that, finally move to the 7th nerve center on top of the head. Place your palm in such a way that you fan your fingers out as you pressure it slightly and looking downwards. Seven times as you rotate in a clockwise direction from left to right, you just say, Mother, please give me self-realization. And so you have to ask your primordial energy, Mother Kundalini, to grant this self-realization to you, this connection. 7 times you repeat, Mother, please give me self-realization. Begin. And once you've done that, you can place both your palms back on your lap. And now, with your left palm, just check on top of the head without touching the head if you can feel hot or cool vibrations. They're like tiny atoms moving, or sometimes like a strong breeze. Without touching the head, move it up and down. Sometimes it's very high, times it could be low. Sometimes it's very hot too. Check it out. And now place the left palm back on your lap and check with the other palm. See how high it goes. The point at which you do not feel it, that's the point at which the connection is. All right, now place both the palms back on your lap and see if you can feel tiny particles like energy moving around in the palms of your hand. Sometimes it's very strong, sometimes it's extremely subtle, depending on your energy level. Become aware of that. And now for a few minutes, let us sit peacefully in silence, which is a state of meditation that spontaneously occurs. And I will not be instructing you for a while, so let us enjoy that silence. All right, so now very slowly draw your attention to the outer environment. Become aware of it and end the meditation and the process by acknowledging yourself for having given yourself this precious gift to be able to manage stress and to become empowered. So bow to your own self in recognition of this process where you awakened this energy today and got your self-realization. And I wish you all the very best on this journey. How do you feel? We have very few minutes, so I just ask a few questions. If you would like to share some things. Yes, there's a mic, so if you could just access it. We have 2 minutes, yes.
Is there a significance of using the right hand to put pressure on the chakras?
Yes. When you just begin with the process, you work on the left channel, and the left channel therefore draws energy from the universe, and the other palm then is used to express that chakra and release the block. Okay? The left channel is the channel of pure desire. The right channel is the channel of action. Therefore, you use the right arm. You activate it. Okay? Yes, I know everybody's now moving out for the next
I just wanted
session.
to say that
Yes.
The meditation that Ms. Doctor just went through, there are flyers in the back that show the positions and the affirmations that you say at each point, and also have a diagram of the 7 chakras that we had up on the screen. So I'd like to thank Ms. Doctor for coming in today, and thank you for welcoming her to Google.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I wish you will really practice this and make it a part of your life so that we can all benefit from it, okay? And believe me, it'll really create a 360-degree shift in your life, truly. So, wish you all the best.